Hello and welcome to Dwarf Academy, episode 11, and just having a look around the surface. It's a bit messy. The dwarves, I don't think, are collecting things from the surface, so if we go into orders, pressing O, we can go R, refuse, and it says here dwarves ignore refuse from outside. So we'll press O and I'll gather some refuse. They'll put it into the refuse pile, tidy up the place a little bit. We'll let them ignore the vermin remains. I don't think we can see those. Away we go. That is what happens when a weird deer enters the fort or tries to enter the fort, and why we have animals pastured outside the fort. As a distraction at least, and as watch animals. We've got some dogs, so we did talk about training them. So I think we've got some dogs, or were they killed? We'll have a look at that once the game's saved. We've moved into autumn, I believe. Let's have a look. It's limestone, first of limestone, pinch, punch, first of the month. It's early autumn. The Dwarven trade envoy will be coming along soon. We didn't trade last year because we were distracted, so hopefully we'll be able to trade some of the legendary or the masterpiece weapons that we've got online in our new steel industry. If we can have a look at that, we're going to unpause the game. We can see that the smelters are busy, and there's a carpenter doing some jobs. The wood burner's burning, making ash, and we're going to use that to turn into lye in the ashery. We've got some lye. If we press Z, we can go into the Z screen. The stocks will show us in bars. 359 bars we've got altogether. We've got some pig iron. We've got some steel. We've got 12 steel bars, so hopefully we should be able to sell some steel weapons to the Dwarven trade delegation. When the merchants arrive on their caravans, the ash is here. I don't see any lye. Maybe is lye a glob? I'm not sure. We'll let this guy do his work. We can use T to interrogate the workshop. There's no lye in there's no lie in here, so I don't think he's finished his first job yet. We've got another petition. I find it so hard to say no. We've got 60. We've got 60 dwarves resident, and we've only got 2 or 3. We've got a dancer, a bard, and a poet, so that's pretty cool. We've got 3 different types of entertainment in the Chestnut of Caves. Chestnut Caves might as well get a little bit bigger. The dance floor area in an inn or a temple is dictated by the largest empty space at the moment. There's we can show you in locations, pressing L, Boardwalls. With the Cunning Cathedral, they have a dance floor of 10 by 11, and the Chestnut Caves just has a 6 by 9 dance floor at the moment. There are boxes in those goblets. There's no instruments. There's 5 instruments desired, but there aren't any instruments stored. I'm sure that we bought some instruments from the elves, but they haven't made their way into the tavern. We can also get some instruments for the temple, and when the dwarves come to visit to trade, we can hopefully get some instruments from them. Manufacturing instruments is complicated. We are going to have a musical academy, and also the academy is going to have a branch of musical crafts people. We're going to try and create a musical craft industry, which isn't something I've done in any detail before, so that'll be very interesting. And we'll have to do some research in the academy. So the lie, we were waiting for the lie, and it's on a repeat. So I would hope we have some lie if we interrogate the stocks. Again, the bar menu, still no lie. Everything is on the wiki, and we can have a quick check. Lie. A bar, it's a bar, so it's going to be put into that pile eventually. Okay. What next? Once we've got some lye, we can make soap. We have got a jeweler who is on with the cutting of gems. We have a stockpile for rough gems over here at the end of our train track, and we need somewhere to put the cut gems. And we're going to keep these in bins in a gem stockpile here. We are going to make sure that there's no rough gems, no uncut gems stored in here. And we can do that by pressing Q, and then once we're over the correct stockpile, we can press S. And we've got into the gems, we can then forbid these various items. We just won't have cut gems. We can have cut stone and cut glass if any appears in the fort. So escaping out of there, they should find some bins if there are bins, and then put those into bins. We don't have any bins, so go to the carpenter shop. We're going to queue up some bins, and they'll wood is a good item for bins because it's light. Heavier bins take a lot longer to haul to and fro depot and in various tasks. They do create higher value, but I think the value is better being put into items you can build into your fortress, or that have a particularly high sale value intrinsically, like weapons and food. There's probably other things, but they're the two things that I found have good returns. There's another petition, and it's a petition for a soldier, which is exciting. Toulon will be our first emigre soldier, and we're going to put him into a squad pretty soon. We could create a barrack. The barracks should maybe be within our defense structure. If we could put the barracks outside of the gate, outside of the main gate, or we could put it close to the main stairwell. So we're going to dig a stairwell, an up-down staircase. And then we're going to have a barracks. And it's going to be square, but it's going to have an archery range, and it is also going to have the fear of it looking like something else. We're going to have a danger room. Danger room will be a place where we can train our combat dwarves, possibly injure them fatally. We'll test out our medical students on healing these guys. If they're not murdered, killed, they'll get pretty skillful at various combat skills in the danger room. There's going to be an archery range here, which is going to allow our archers to train against archery targets, which we'll put up at the top here. Once we have enough dwarves to spare, for fodder and for warriors, whichever way they turn out to be. If we look at the therapist, we've probably got quite a few excuse me, we've probably got quite a few dwarves now. We can consider drafting into a military or into our I think they're going to be called bursars. I think that's suitably academic. I think we could Google that. I'm not going to do that. I'm sure you have a bursar at a university or a college who looks after stuff and makes sure there's no trouble. We're going to have a hammerer at some point, and here they are, our dwarven friends. Dickut Lemuluk Mam is here. He's a liaison from the mountainhomes. We'll have a look at the screen, and they will tell us a little bit about what we can ask for. You know, this is all stuff that they might have, what they might be able to get for us. There's no guarantees, depending on the state of the market. You can tab up and down the types with plus and minus, so you could order various types of things: bone blocks, gems, bars. You might need to get some iron or another type of material that isn't available in your embark. Things like things that we might want to make sure we're getting quicklime, because we are an academy, and we're going to be wanting to make vellums and things like that, and gypsum plaster for our medical students. The textiles quarter, they will want to be dyeing things, and dimple dye will help with that. The culinary students will be wanting to make some high value food, and if we can get a bunch of this in the next year's caravan, then excellent. That's about it. I'm going to escape out of there. We can look over the documents. These are things. This is what we've agreed. We'll be able to see that we've got, you know, if we go to the powders, we've got their priority, and we finish peeking in on this conversation, and we can look over the documents. And this is actually what they want. This is what they're demanding the most of, and what we'll get some good returns for. If we were to focus on prepared meals, bracelets, powders, threads, they're all inflated in demand at the moment. Get much higher returns. So we're going to be making prepared meals anyway, and not too sure that we'll have much powder. Depends if we can start quern and mill some flours, sugars. But yeah, threads, something we can do. If we think about building up thread, we can stop auto looming thread, and hopefully get a bit of surplus going on. We can get that to a pile and forbid it possibly, so that we can then start looming again without it using all our thread. And that's something we can think about, I guess. A learning opportunity. This is the first video I'm recording today. You may have noticed I'm recording a few episodes at a time, and it's all new territory to me. If you do watch any of the videos, thank you very much. Please leave comments and like or dislike the video. We're going to go into the depot. We're going to ask the trader. The trader's having a think about hunting. He's meditating. He's probably in the temple. He's been requested. We're going to have a look at what goods we've got in the fort. We've got. We're going to sort it by value by pressing D. Most expensive stuff we've got, funnily enough, is prepared food. I think there must be a high demand for that. We didn't look at last year. We didn't pay much attention to that. We can press V and view that good, and what we've got is some prepared ibex brain roast. So we must have hunted an ibex at some point successfully, and that ibex is a kind of deer. I think it's been. We've taken the brain and we've made a roast out of it with a couple of other ingredients. Probably, yeah, I think so. Donkey tripe roast, pump helmet roast, This is pretty standard dwarven fare, but it's of high value. Okay, so we're going to sell these to the caravan. If you have a look at the gem bin, the gem bin's high value. Even these are all cut gems, so they're of higher value than rough gems. There's an emerald in there. That's quite a valuable stone. Silver war hammers. Each of these hammers is worth. We can have a look. It's worth 450, and the wooden corkscrew is worth 330. So these the trap weapons. Trap weapons have a much higher intrinsic value than the normal dwarven sized weapons, small weapons that the dwarves use. These giant weapons, even though they're made of wood, are worth much less than the silver war hammers. Much more, relatively. So, what we're going to do is we're going to keep these hammers because they're going to be handy in more practical terms, and we're going to sell these wooden corkscrews because we don't have much use for them. We're going to be making a gym, and we're going to be building a load of pumps, but we're going to make some more high value corkscrews in the next few episodes. Okay, dwarven wine pot. It says rock pots. It's the same as a barrel, but it's made of rock. We'll offload that. And in the plant barrow, it's plump helmets, and that's relatively high value, and it's not even processed food. So food is a high value item, and that's why the first thing we do is we get a farm started. So all those goods will be moved here now. Our trader was up here, he's meditating. I think he stopped meditating now. He's probably going up to the depot. We shall join. Here's all the corkscrews. Giant corkscrews. So once they're all in, we'll start trading. See, the ranger's probably got a bedroom, but he's quite happy to sleep out here. You don't have to give them bedrooms. Drake is still meditating on hunting. That can be problematic if you've left it to the last minute to trade. The traders are itching to pack up and leave, and you're waiting for you. Normally they're eating or drinking. Yeah. He's trading. So shift and enter. We've got 11,000. We talked about getting some instruments. There's a cinnabar, Themthir, Busmuth, Bronzefest, Garnierite stack, Saltpeter, Keskal, Steel Rodim, Sagral Rib Angish, a bronze record, and a date palmwood wrestle, a silver record. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. We could probably afford most of it. If you press shift and move through the list with your cursor, you can highlight a lot of stuff together. We haven't got that much money, but this steel rhodim's worth a load. So we're now that's about the right value. We've got a trader profit equivalent of around the value, and the dwarf will be pretty pleased with that. As far as kudos and everything in the game, profit isn't important. The amount of stuff that you export is the amount of stuff you trade is important. It's most important. There's plenty of room for profit anyway. They've got a bull, a yak bull, a yow, as they're saying where I come from. a yow. There's the tup. If we had a tup, it should be a ram. We would be able to breed those, but we've already eaten the ram, I think, or it got killed by the creature of the night. The things that we like to buy in barrel are syrup. These are all high value ingredients, and they'll be excellent in making lavish prepared meals, which will give us a good return. So I'm going to see what's actually really important. We'll get a few bits and bobs, and then we'll take off some of those instruments. We could get some rock nuts. We've got potash online now, so we can start to grow quarry bushes. Wheat flour. We can make some flour at some point in the future, but we need to get our industry up and running and get the crops fertilized. So we've got some higher yields. We should be all right for seeds for everything that we've already got. I don't think we've run out of any seeds. Cloth and leather. The less stuff we can import, the more we're adding value. We're creating value. If we're actually creating the cloth, that's the way I see it. I like to create as much stuff as we can. Sometimes you need to get ingredients to kickstart. We're gonna get sweetbreads, various bits, black bear liver, hyena lungs, some kiwi meat. All this stuff again is it's not high value ingredients, but they're ingredients. And the cat wants to go out. There's high value ingredients and there's low value ingredients, but the more ingredients we've got, the more food we can make. I'm not going to get any fish products, and might as well get all these lettuce leaves, peppers, strawberries, all the surface plants. I'm not too sure if we can get seeds out of these imported fruits and stuff, but we might be able to use the seeds to grow above ground. We don't really want to buy any thread because we have thread, and there is some interesting stuff here. There is Master of the Mountainhome, so there's a book. There's a couple of copies of Master. One of them's half the price of the other. But there's a book here called Uncle Bud's My Life. That's a pretty cheap book. Is there a cheaper copy of that? There's a more expensive copy there. It's nice to have books, I guess. We're an academy. I don't know if you can hear the cat meowing in the background, so I'll just let the cat out of my room. The cat was asleep when I started to record, and I thought leave the door open just in case, and then I'll shut it at some point. We bought a couple of books. All the other things here, the parchments, the codexes, and such, things that we can make ourselves. So we're just importing some intellectual stuff into they've got a lot of cheese, of course. We need to get some cheese. And see, the spiked steel ball is very expensive. That's a trap item. So make trap items that are going to be ticket items, high value items, big ticket. There's leopard parchment. You can see in skunk parchment at the bottom. We can make those from animal skins, but we need to use the quicklime, which we've ordered. I haven't seen any quicklime in this delivery, so we need to get some of these musical instruments. We need to not buy a load of these musical instruments because we don't have enough. We might have been able to make some more stuff before. If we can make a load more value or find some more items in the fort, we'll be able to come back and buy a few more things. I'd love to have loads of instruments in our academy so that the dwarves will start to play them, and it'll be nice. And we can do some research and we can get our dwarves to know the instruments. Once we start making them, they can pick up the legendary instruments, and we can see what goes on. I'm going to trade, so I'm going to press T. It'll just ask us to press enter to OK. Sibrek is seeming ecstatic with the trading, so that's good. He's happy, and hopefully he'll come back next year with loads of powders, and we can all celebrate. I'm going to ask the trader to leave. No trader needed at the depot. We could go in and, as I said, we could maybe. There's more things we can buy. Is there anything else that we really want to sell? I don't really think so. That's fine. So that's the end of the episode. I hope you've learnt some stuff. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you're all super happy. Strike the earth. Cheerio.